Fly a transport into the bridge of a command carrier. Suicide. The ship's sensors will detect explosive content, and you will be destroyed well out of range.
I have another idea. What does Scorpius value more than this Leviathan? I'd wager that precious research base down on that moon. If he is as clever as you all say that he is, he will see the weight and explosive content for exactly what it is.
A flying ignition source.
Which will force him to do what?
Theoretically to turn and pursue, closing range to destroy you.
And when they change course?
Moya has the time to get clear of the asteroid field and starburst to freedom.
One of us will have to sacrifice ourselves for the others.
Your plan is flawed. Scorpius will not chase the transport, because there's one thing that he values more than his precious base.
Yep.
You're being ridiculous. We were going to draw lots.
I did draw lots. I lost. Matter closed.
You are not the captain here.
No one is. It is anarchy. And today, it is my day to rule.
Dargo, will you stop?
Listen to me. Time is short, and so is my temper. Fetch me some more Chronite.
I know no other way to thank you for what you're doing.
Never before the big game.
Come on.
Captain Crace has now been officially pronounced irrevocably contaminated. You are
Seems legit.
officially authorized to take control of the situation as you see appropriate.
Magnificent.
Are you aware of other attempts to breed a ship such as this?
Numerous. All ending disastrously, killing both mother and child. But now I know why.
Well, the other Leviathans were in captivity wearing control collars, whereas this one was free when she gave birth.
Your intelligence would qualify significantly for promotion.
Pity, I don't think a referral from you would mean anything now.
Yeah.
Hey, who knows? Maybe you'll get lucky. We'll all die and you can have all our stuff.
That's not fair.
Sparky, Spanky, Fluffy, Buckwheat the 16th. You tried to sell us out.
But I didn't, did I?
They weren't buying, were they?
No. And I became convinced that after I turned you in, I would be next.
Now, how does that taste in your mouth?
Look, I know I can be selfish, but given a chance, I can usually...
Do what? Do the right thing?
Yes.
Nigel, I figure the right thing starts at the beginning of the day. Not after you've been caught.
Oh!
Thank you
Aw.
for the possessions.
Of course. Little jerk.
No, that's not what he meant.
Why have you
Of
brought
course.
us here, Tiana?
I wanted to let you all know how much I appreciate everything you've done for me. For each of you. Your favorite dishes.
Aw. How?
I've got a strange life here, Dad. It's different, but it's my own. I have people who rely on me, people who I care about, people who mystify me, and people who become allies, friends, and people who teach me patience, and people who teach me other things. Well, you said the time had come, and I think it has. I have a job to do, and I am unafraid. That's what you said when they asked you what it was like to walk on the moon. You did good, Dad. You taught me well.
If you get this right, the peacekeepers will be so focused on the transport pod, they'll never notice the two of you.
Zero margin for error.
I'll be there.
I can only last a
I'll
quarter of
be
it.
there.
Ah. Got it.
I wasn't gonna say goodbye.
Neither was I. Good luck to you both.
The visual image is still processing, but our intrascan reveals the Luxon and the human to be aboard the transport.
How you doing?
I have to pee.
Those two.
Pilot, please make sure the baby Leviathan understands that once Moya starbursts, he must stay close enough to be sucked along behind us.
Yes, I will.
All pursuing Prowler commanders, this is Scorpius. The occupants of that transport are to be taken alive.
The offspring is not responding to my entreaty. Perhaps you should...
Call him by his name, Pilot.
You have chosen a name for him?
Yes, I have. It's Talon. It was my father's.
Sensors indicate an explosive device aboard the transport has just been armed. What shall we do?
Admire Crichton his strategy. If he ignites the oil surface of that moon, we will have to abandon our research and evacuate the base.
How come I'm not afraid?
Fear accompanies the possibility of death. Calm shepherds its certainty.
Cool. Good
I
talk.
love hanging with you, man. My dad's good luck charm.
Does it work?
I'm alive.
Well,
So far.
thanks.
Suck on that, Scorpy.
Wow.
Just relax, John. We get one chance to grab you. That was the plan.
The Peacekeepers are still moving away from us, John. Find him, Aaron. This time.
Someone has boarded Moya's offspring.
Yeah.
It's Trace.
The offspring Leviathan, Talon, has broken from Moya's side and is operating independently.
Ship deeper into the asteroid field where the debris is densest.
Trace, what the yucks are you doing?
Saving myself, Your Eminence. I'm sure to your envy.
Talon is not mature enough to starburst. If you attempt this, you will damage him. You may die.
Thank you, priest, but I know that. I hope that our relationship, away from the peacekeepers, will be a much different one next time.
You cannot take a child from its mother.
You forget. It was done to me, and it was done to you. Goodbye, Officer Sun.
You guys gotta get out of here. Starburst now.
We cannot leave you in Dhaka.
No. We can't, and we won't.
This is not the time to give up selfishness. Starburst.
But Aaron's not back yet either. I'm not leaving John and Dargo.
Aaron.
Pilot, Starburst, save as many as you can.
I believe that too is now impossible.
Why?
Because Moya will not leave without her offspring.
Oh,
She
boy.
fears Talon does not understand what he is doing by listening to Crace's orders.
Moya, listen to me. We know how much you care about your baby. We feel the same way. That's why we've gone to all this trouble. It's not just to save ourselves, but to save you and him. Your only chance of rescuing him is to save yourself first. Moya, thanks for everything. Now do what you have to do.
Goodbye.
What? What? That's not nice.
Well, you know, sometimes seasons end with cliffhangers.
That sucks. Okay.
Oh. Now you've experienced what everybody who watched the first season of Farscape got to experience in that finale, honey.
Thanks. So thankfully, I don't have to wait another year or however long it took for it to come out. So
you certainly don't.
Hooray for that.
Okay, so Farscape, Season 1, Episode 22, Family Ties. Heidi, I'm sure you have a lot of thoughts.
I mean, the title really says it all. I mean, we got to see people kind of resolving their issues, you know, kind of preparing for certain death, you know, just kind of making their peace with everyone. Even John and Rigel, the little weasel, you know.
That he is.
Grace, I mean, I really didn't expect for him to be somehow come aboard the ship, and then they even had a meal with him. That was just kind of like, wow, that's very kind of them. Just kind of, you know, I feel like there's so many meanings to the family ties. I mean, we know that Zan mentioned it, but there's so many ways that we can take that for this. We've got Moya, and finally he's been named Talon. The whole crew and all of their relationships. Crace remembering, you know, where he came from. It's just a lot going on there. I'm interested, of course, to see where they go with this. I know I was hoping for like at least some reason for, you know, like if there's some any other resolution from that last episode, and we just got that, you know, off-going joke about somebody getting eaten. So I guess whatever.
Who knows how many more she'll eat before they even figure out what's going on?
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. I don't love that Talon is separated from Moya, but I think that was something that I kind of knew was going to happen too. That's why I said I knew Crace did go on after this episode. So of course he is still going to be out there. Kind of hilarious that he was talking to Aaron as if they were almost friends, which was just like very confusing.
Yeah, I think she sees that relationship very differently.
Yeah, for sure. I had another thought, but it'll probably come back to me. But this was just a really great episode. I absolutely hate that it landed on a cliffhanger. But, you know, like I said, I don't have to wait too long to see more. So it's fine. You know, you'll catch us back here watching the next episode.
I remembered that Crace ended up with Talon. I remembered that there was some crazy plan to get away from Scorpius. And I remembered that that there was a cliffhanger, but I didn't remember what the cliffhanger was.
Okay, and I remember what my other thought was, and I, you know, in the opening credits, which we kind of edit out for YouTube, but you know, our Patreon viewers have seen it. We noticed that there had been some new scenes added, and we saw that, you know,
and John's dialogue had changed
a little bit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Chiana had been added to the main credits, and I feel like prior to these last, like maybe 2 or 3 episodes, we did not see Dargo and Zan kissing.
No.
Okay. So I was super worried for Zan, actually. I was super worried that she was going to be the one who drew that last lot. I was worried that she was going to go ahead and sacrifice herself for the crew. So I'm glad about that, but of course I'm worried about everybody who's just kind of hanging out. The crew that starburst away, Aaron that's kind of a sitting duck, and then John and Dargo just hanging out in the void of space.
Highlights for me, I loved John's talk with Rigel, just his willingness to understand who Rigel is, and getting Rigel to admit it to himself to some extent, and then the kiss on the head, as cheeky and silly as it was really just John's way of saying, I like you. You know, like you're awful.
You're the worst.
You're the worst, but I like you anyway.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it hit Rigel in a weird way.
Yeah.
I think Rigel needs to know that he's accepted.
Caught him in the
for the little selfish weasel he is.
Caught him in the feels.
Right. So I really liked that moment. That was really cute. I liked Aaron and Dargo's moment. How sweet it was, and then how quickly he went to, you know, shouting orders at her as soon as, you know, like, I'm doing this and you're staying behind. I like John and Dargo's friendship a lot.
I thought it was interesting that John was talking to Grace, and they were even sort of discussing how similar their species are. So that was interesting, and like,
well, and you got to figure that John, being who he is, and having spent time around military and all of that, he knows the kind of guy Grace is.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's surprised by Grace being a weasel at all, but he recognizes, I think in that moment he recognized the fear and the uncertainty of, I'm becoming somebody else and I don't really understand this myself, in Grace.
Yeah.
And Grace certainly doesn't understand it himself. He just made a really jerk move here at the end of this episode that's really self-focused. So clearly he's not ready to make any major changes, but he's leaving behind still everything that he knows, which is where Aaron was at the beginning of this season. Contaminated, separated from all that he knows. And so I think that alone puts him in, from his perspective, in a new kind of place with Aaron where we understand each other. We've had to turn our backs on this thing.
So that's probably the genesis of his conversation with her over the comms. But I feel like he is definitely going to be like a dark mirror of Aaron. Aaron was separated from everything that she'd ever known, but she had family.
But she's created this family around herself, or they formed around her.
Right. Whereas
and
Grace
she's come to appreciate it.
Yeah, Grace
whereas now
himself.
He's off on his own.
Yeah. So we're going to see what happens to a peacekeeper when they're cut off from everything and they have no one. So that'll be an interesting look the next time we see him. I hope it's early enough on in season 2 where we can figure out, kind of catch up with him and figure out what's going on. Figure out, what Talon's just a baby. We don't need him away from his mom, but we're gonna have to deal with that, aren't we?
So I have a question, and if it was brought up in either of these 2 episodes, I don't know where. Like, I don't recall it being brought up. So I have a question: where's Stark?
That's a really great question. Wasn't he on board?
Last we knew, he was on board with them, but he did not appear in either of these 2 episodes. So are we to believe that they dropped him off somewhere? Is he still hanging out and not participating?
I can't believe that he'd just be hanging out and not participating.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am.
So he was aboard, and of course we don't.
But I don't think for the alien gal from the last episode, we got a throwaway line about what became of her. She's eating people on the Peacekeeper ship.
This is true.
But I don't think we got a throwaway line to tell us what happened to Stark. So
No.
that's a little bit confusing to me. But, I love the sort of duality between Crace and Scorpius too. That Scorpius is so laser focused on what he wants.
The ultimate tactician. Clearly.
And is just,
if that's his class,
and is constantly maneuvering to get at the thing that he wants, whereas Crace just lost his mind in an obsessive pursuit of John, which he freely admits wasn't really about what he thought it was about.
Yeah,
and
that it was a bad idea,
and that he lost himself in it. So I like that sort of parallel. Showing the differences between those 2, and then I like Rigel's owning that he was being selfish. Like, he didn't even try to weasel out of it. He was just like, they weren't interested, so I did something else. Yep. Now you got a chance, know? And I think that's really true to the character that we've come to know. But I think we also see him feeling more than he wants to admit and caring more than he wants to admit. So he may have been willing to do the wrong thing for what he considered the right reason, which was self-preservation.
Of course.
But I think even he knows he would have regretted it had it gone the way he wanted it to go.
Yeah.
And that is growth for him. Really impressed by Chiana's growth here already, that she's always been in pursuit of a life. That was her crime, right? She just pushing the boundaries, wanting something of her own. And to see that she so quickly made food for them as a sort of goodbye and a show of appreciation for what she's already come to have with them.
Yeah.
And her caring about these people, showing affection for John and Dargo and their leaving. I think the fact that John sort of took up for her when she was in that cell was something she's never had before. So she doesn't know how to express that, which is why the awkwardness of that. And John
very awkward.
I'm going to put you in kid sister corner.
Yeah.
For
sure.
But I think, she doesn't know how to express affection other than through her sexuality. So she's trying what she knows because she feels affection. She doesn't know where to put it, and then
I want to know what John's favorite meal was amongst all the things she prepared.
Well, he didn't eat.
Yeah.
He wasn't there.
Nope.
But yeah, I like that we got to see, their relationship is so different. And then we've gotten to see continuing like her sort of thing with Rigel where she's annoyed by him, but they have so much in common. They're kind of in this corner, jabbering each other.
Kids
and then,
in the back seat.
And then even, Dargo, like, you're making the sacrifice and I'm going to get away. Like, so I don't know, be safe. Yeah. Come back, all those little things, they add up to so much. Because they've been seeded throughout this season.
Yep.
It's not we're in this life and death situation together at the end. We better decide we care about each other. It's not, we already knew this.
Yeah, we buy it.
We've had the little bits all along the way. This was just an opportunity to say, we may not make it through, so let's say some of these things out loud that we know. So having those moments with like John and Dargo, the joking around, and even just Dargo saying he had to pee was such it was so out of left field, but it was such a thing perfect. That he knew that John would understand. Like it was just
it was perfect.
Hanging out with your guy friend and you just say the blunt thing, and I think that's kind of what John was saying to Crace. Like, I don't have that. But I think he, in that moment, he had that with Dargo.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot to like about this episode. I get not liking the cliffhanger ending and having a bunch of questions still. I get that part. But man, it was exciting for me to get to the end and go, oh my gosh, I can't wait to find out what happens next. And I was so sold already.
Yeah.
That it was, it was a no-brainer that I was going to be back as season 2 started.
Oh,
and I think I was just like, waiting.
I mean, they've had me for a long time now, and
and you got 3 more seasons to go.
I do. So oh my goodness. So just for fun, I clicked on the download that we have of Farscape Season 2, Episode 1, just to see when the next episode aired. It was a year and a half later. No, 2.5?
What?
I can't count right now. I think it was a year and a half. Let's see. No, all of 2000, all of 2001. 2.5 years?
So my guess is I think you may have been...
No. I'm on the wrong one. Please tell me I'm on the wrong one.
Yeah, that's Season 4 you're looking at, dear.
Oh, thank goodness. I was like, no, people had to wait that long?
Excuse us.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Heidi doesn't know how to use technology, clearly. Okay. Oh, that's much better. Okay. So they only had to wait 2 months. Okay.
But I think you're right. I think it aired maybe as a joint production.
Okay.
So it aired with whatever, if it was HBO or Showtime, whoever it was that aired it initially. And then it was on the Sci-Fi channel from that point forward. So maybe by the time I saw it on Sci-Fi, I don't think I had to wait very long.
Okay.
So I think those might be the Sci-Fi dates.
Okay. Whew.
As far as when they aired. Because normally you wouldn't get a season that close.
Yeah, I feel like, you definitely wouldn't, unless it's like now times.
But you know who can tell us?
Oh, yeah.
They can tell us.
You can let us know. When did it really air? Season 1, Season 2? What networks carried it? Because I really do feel like it was on a premium network first before it made its way to Sci-Fi.
And they don't have Swiss cheese brain, so they can tell.
Yeah, you guys are
much more likely to remember than I am.
Bigger brain fans out there than us, for sure. So please let us know in the comments. And also, thank you for joining us for all 22 episodes of Farscape Season 1. And we are so excited that we got to share it with you guys. And we cannot wait. Like, literally, I can't wait to watch more. So, we will be taking a break just for the holidays. And then we're going to kind of start stocking up and watching more episodes for sure.
So maybe by the time you see this, we will have already recorded part of Season 2 and we'll start airing them pretty soon.
Yeah.
But family comes first, and we know that you guys understand that, but we are in this ride for the long haul. So,
absolutely.
So you can bet your bottom dollar we will be back with Season 2, and then Season 3, and then Season 4, and then the Peacekeeper Wars, because that's what we came to do.
My goodness, there's so much, and it's like I know that it's gonna go by in a flash, but it's also gonna be like I can't wait to watch all of these either.
Now,
so very
if you
excited.
want to watch this full episode with us, you can do that by becoming a Patreon sponsor. You can find the link down in the description if it didn't pop up along down here somewhere. Anyway, if you don't want to do the monthly Patreon thing and you're not really interested in watching the full length episodes along with us, we get that. That's fine. If you want to help out the channel because you like that we're doing Farscape, then you can use the Cash App link and catch us there with whatever you want to send our way. We appreciate just you being here, honestly. So everything else is just gravy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's going to do it for us with the first season of Farscape, and we'll be back with Season 2 before you know it.
Yep.
Until next time, folks.
Bye.
Bye.